Now where you're at in the world, I don't know if you got something called fish camps or not, but we got fish camps down here in the South. And it's not where fish go for a relaxing getaway. It's a place where you go and everything in the whole place is fried. And although it's delicious, it is loaded up with carbs because everything is a flour-based and seed oil-based fry. So you're gonna leave there high carbed up, you're gonna be crashing soon, and you're probably gonna be inflamed when you leave. So if you want a nice fried fish that's not gonna leave you inflamed and ruin your diet, I'm gonna show you how to do it right after this. The first thing you gotta do is head out onto the deep seas, get in a boat, and get yourself a nice fresh catch. All right, I'm just kidding. Anything else this breading is gonna work for, if you wanna throw some little crabs in there, you wanna throw some little shrimps in there, whatever you wanna put in, this breading works really good for it. It's the same one that I use for my okra. So let me show you what you need to put together some of this beautiful fried fish. And the first thing you're gonna need, and I got this frozen, but some tilapia or any other kind of white fish. You want it with not a lot of fat, so like no salmon or tuna or anything like that. Just get a nice white fish. The next thing you're gonna need is some Parmesan cheese. Now the ratio is important on this. For this particular one, I'm gonna use half a cup of grated Parmesan, but just look at the ratios for whatever you're making. You're gonna need some almond flour. I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup, but it's 1 part Parmesan, half a part almond flour, and half a part of pork panko or pork rind breadcrumbs, whatever you want to call it. Now you're gonna need something to make that breading, if you will, stick to that fish. So I'm gonna use 2 eggs. Just use the best quality eggs you can get. And we gotta season it up because where I come from, they don't pre-season fish. So we're gonna need to season it with some of this Redmond's real salt or pink Himalayan, some nice coarse black pepper or fine black pepper, whatever pepper you got, it's the best pepper you can use. And then if you want to get real fancy with it, you can use some of this Old Bay seasoning. It's great on any kind of seafood. I use it on everything from crab to shrimp to chicken, just like it says on the package there. But for this, we're gonna put it on this fish. And of course you're gonna need something to fry in. So normally I'd use avocado oil, but I was out, so I did olive oil, extra virgin, and it's gonna work just fine. Now these particular fish were frozen, so I just put them overnight in the fridge to let them thaw out. And now what I'm gonna do is just take some paper towels and dry them out as much as possible. You just wanna get all that excess water and excess moisture off there because we're gonna coat them in a minute and then we're gonna dip them in that breading. So we want that to stick as much as possible so you get them as dry as you possibly can. And once I get done drying a piece, I just like to lay it on another paper towel on the counter, just so if there's any excess moisture that comes out as well, just get them as dry as you possibly can. It makes a huge difference. Now you can totally fry these in whole pieces if you want to, but what I like to do for the authentic Southern fish fry experience, to get the most breading on there as possible, is just cut them in half right along that line right there, just like that. Just make 2 pieces out of 1 piece. And then when we fry them up, they're gonna be absolutely perfect. Almost like a chicken finger, but a fish finger, if that's such a thing. I've never heard of it, but I don't know why not. So I've gotten 2 glass dishes here. One, I've taken the eggs and beat those up in, and we're just gonna take that fish and lay it right inside that first. And that's gonna give us a good coating on that dry fish for that beautiful breading to stick to. And then in the other glass container, I just took that pork panko, that almond flour, and that shredded Parmesan, just mixed them all together in that. And you can just season that breading up if you want to now, or you can season it after it comes out. Either way is fine. So I'm just gonna take that, get each side coated with the egg as well as possible. And I wouldn't put anything in the egg, just egg, that's all you need. Get them coated, and then we'll go on to the next step. And I'm quite sure you've already guessed the next step. We're gonna take these egg-coated fillets of fish out and put them right in the breadcrumbs. Now you can use your hands, you don't have to use a fork. Just make sure that you keep one hand dry all the time, or that breading's gonna accumulate on your fingers, and you're gonna have breaded hand fingers instead of breaded fish fingers. And ain't nobody got time for that. And see now, because both of my hands are dry, I can just take my dry fingers, go in with some of that breading, and just sprinkle it on top and press it down pretty good. Flip it over, and you got breading on that side already, so your hands are going to stay nice and dry. And just put that breading all over it on both sides, press it down, and then set it off to the side and get ready to go in with some more of those fish fingers. And Buddy's already down there on the prowl, hoping I drop a little Parmesan cheese or pork panko or even some raw egg. He don't care, he'll eat anything. So I've just put them on the plate like that, so when I get ready to go over to the fryer, they're all ready to go. Now if you got a deep fryer, of course you can use that, but I'm just gonna put my hex clad on the stove. I'm gonna pour in some of that good olive oil, and I'm just gonna pan fry these. And just get you enough oil in there, inch or two, just enough to cover those fish at least halfway, if not a little more. And if you're gonna fry other stuff, put a little extra in there. If you're liking this video so far, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell next to it, and next time I do another video, you'll know about it. Now I always like to check the temperature of my oil if I do it in the pan, anywhere from 350 to 385, even 390 sometimes will be fine. You don't want to get over about 425 if you're using olive oil, because it'll start to smoke a little after that. So as you can tell by that oil, I've already fried up some hush puppies and some okra. And if you haven't seen those videos, I'll put links to them somewhere in this video. But you just take that fish and lay it in there away from you. Make sure that oil doesn't splash up on you, because you know nothing's gonna ruin your fish fry like having to go to the hospital with some burns. So just be real careful when you lay them in there, and it'll be just fine. You're gonna let them cook for 2-3 minutes. Check it a little bit, see if that side's getting nice and brown. And when it is, we'll get ready to flip them over. So just give them a check, and if it's getting brown like that, you can go ahead and take it out, turn it over. You could use a fork and a spatula if you want to. I just like to be fancy and do a little flip like that on the edge, but hey, however you turn them over, that's fine. I probably need to get something a little better than this to do it with, but hey, it works out. And then another couple 3 minutes on the other side, you'll be ready to take them out. If they're not nice and brown yet, just flip it over and leave it in. But when you get ready and you think they're as ready as you want them, take them out, put them on a paper towel lined plate just to drain that grease off just a little bit. And if you didn't season your breading and you need to season them, now's the time. When they come right out of the oil, they're vulnerable and they'll take that seasoning just right. So this is how I like to do a fish fry. Just take a couple of pieces of that fish, put them right on the plate, and it's always good to just figure out you're going to deep fry a lot of stuff at one time. Use that oil once. I'm going to serve this alongside some of my fried okra and my hush puppies. Oh man, we're going to be eating good tonight, I'm telling you. Then a little bit of my homemade ketchup for the hush puppies. A little bit of my cowboy candy for the okra, and a little bit of my tartar sauce for the fish. This is gonna be absolutely delicious. You're gonna love it. Now what goes good with fish? Some hush puppies. If you have not seen this video, you gotta make these hush puppies, I'm telling you right now. And I'll put another video down here too that I think you'll like. Hey, thanks for sharing my videos, all your likes and comments. I read every comment and respond to them. If there's anything you'd like to see me make, leave me a comment about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.